we don't know what your net worth is like. So is losing 15 or 20 million? He's like, well, it is not good,
Yeah.
It's the Poker News Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 917 of the Poker News Podcast. I am Chad Holloway, joined by Mike Holtz and Ben Ludlow over at Level 9 Studio in Las Vegas. We have a good episode. We're going to talk about the future of poker in general. I know that's a big topic, but we'll get into exactly why here in a moment. We're going to talk about new heads-up matches involving Monarch for astronomical sums of money. We're going to talk about Phil Hellmuth laying down a challenge. We're going to give the next code word in our NAPT Gold Pass giveaway and announce the winner from our World Tournament of Slots giveaway. I'll have an interview with him later on. And then, of course, recent tournament winners. Let's start, Mike, with the topic you messaged me about, the future of poker, largely based on, the big, beautiful bill, the provision that was snuck in there that taxes people differently. Now, let me just put this disclaimer on there. We're not experts, definitely not tax experts, but we did want to talk about it because, Mike, you don't feel too good about it, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's a provision in the big, beautiful bill that basically makes it so that you can only write off up to 90% of your losses, which as a professional poker player is, it's basically the death of tournaments, especially high stakes ones. You can't go into a $250,000 buy-in and be paying $25K off the rip.
That's crazy. Yeah. And so for people who don't fully understand kind of how it works, as professionals, we get to only pay taxes on our net profit for the year, right? So if I have $1 million in buy-ins and $1.1 million in cashes, I'm paying taxes on $100,000 in cashes or $100,000 in profit. Now, there would be 10% of those losses that I can't write off against it. So I'm basically being charged an extra 10%. So given the state of rake anyways in the poker world, which is, a necessary evil, we understand, and that's just part of the deal. But adding a 10% on top of that, I mean, what's a true ROI for one of the best players anyway? Like 55% online, if that, something like that.
So 55 is like really good.
Exactly.
ROI
Yeah. Imagine 55% like top of the line for online. You're taking another 10% off that. I mean, this just makes it harder and harder for people to see poker as a viable way to make a living only. I mean, and you've seen it for years where a lot of the best players or a lot of people are doing other things. They have other sources of income, but that's never something that we want to have to do, right? You want this to be something where you can be a professional poker player. This can be your job and that's it. And now this is like just making it more and more impossible. It's become harder and harder every year probably that you and I have been playing. And now this is just like another thing where it's not only that, not only are people getting better, now it's just like the government's deciding to say fuck you
it's
too.
like some weird dagger. And then you've also got all this sweepstakes legislation coming out where, the sweepstakes websites are having to drop out of all these different states, yada, yada. Right. So it seems like we're in a very anti-poker landscape right now, which is odd to me because of how much sports betting and slots get promoted on mainstream media.
When ESPN is doing every single commercial talking about, bet on our app and we can't play poker. I mean, this is just like, it makes no sense. And I think it just goes to, there's just not a good enough understanding of what we do in our industry and kind of how we make money and like the fact that there are people who rely on this, and that I understand that this was probably designed to try and by the big sports betting companies or whatever lobbying because they want to get rid of sharp bettors, and this kind of ruins really sharp sports bettors' profit margins too, same as it does for us. But
yeah, it's so bad with sports betting too because of the smaller margins of. You're squeezing out 1% everywhere.
Isn't this going to be bad for like big casino gamblers too? Though I mean, I would think whales at a casino or whatever VIP players who are playing huge blackjack sessions or something, for them to then see to really have to start tracking more closely because of whatever this tax provision can't be good for like the highest.
Yeah, they're going to pay money on losing years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's no way America's not designed. Nowhere should be designed where you're getting taxed on money that you didn't make. It doesn't make any sense.
Or I'm taxed on my income here, and then I'm taxed on this, and it's like
Yeah,
every dollar gets taxed 4 times. But God, I'm sounding. God, this isn't good. This is how Republicans are born.
Yeah,
this was much like the UGIEA was back in 2006, right? It was kind of tacked on to this bill that most people didn't even know until it went through. And that's when you've seen people like Phil Galfond, Doug Polk, take up the fight because they know. I think even Phil Hellmuth called it the poker player's death tax. And there was hope because there was an advocate, Nevada Rep. Dina Titus, a Democrat. She realized it, right? She's Nevada, the gamblers there. She took notice right away, brought it to the attention of a lot of people who were like, yeah, we didn't know this was there. So she's been fighting to get an amendment or a provision that would negate this and basically put it back to the way that it was. And it sounded like there was a lot of support for it. So it's House Resolution 4304, known as the Fair Bet Act, which stands for Fair Accounting for Income Realized from Betting Earnings Taxation Act. That is a mouthful. But it just failed. That's why we're talking about this today, is because it did fail in the Rules Committee in the U.S. House of Representatives. And so now it's kind of like, this is going to happen right now unless something else stops it. I know the efforts are going to continue, but it's not, the outlook is bleak. And you guys are feeling it a lot. I'm sure a lot of your colleagues there in Las Vegas and online are as well, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is like the conversation. Like I played the Venetian PGT thing over the weekend, the $3,300 buy-in, and that was a mostly pro field, and that was all anyone was talking about at the table was like, how do we deal with this? Like, what are other things people are doing? Is this going to last? Is there a way? And so I think everyone's just preparing for, filing in 2026. This is going to be a thing, and that we'll see how it goes from years from now, or kind of like if something can happen next year. But I am fully planning on this being a reality for my next tax season or whatever, like my calculations from here on out. So, yeah, I mean, it's really tough. And every smart person in our industry, in terms of players and kind of advocates, are obviously against this and trying to just like show people that this makes no sense. I mean, I get that. You get all the sides of it. You get why people are trying to like make it harder for sharp sports bettors, but you're, inadvertently ruining another industry that is probably important to a lot of the states that sports betting exists in too.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, man. I mean, it just seems pretty short-sighted, and it seems like it got thrown in at the last minute, they were saying, but then it's like now it failed in the Rules Committee, which is like crazy to me. Like I don't understand how that even happens. Like this seems like such a cut and dry. Like why would this be put in? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway. I mean, it sounds like it was snuck in it was a senator from Idaho, Senator Mike Crapo, which is seems appropriate.
Typical.
Fucking Dan
Crapo,
Smith, high roller, big time poker player Dan Smith was one who responded to a tweet, asking any guesses onto the next steps. Like, what does the future look like? And do you think casinos have been pushing for this to get overturned? I don't know what the next steps are going to be. The Dina Titus says she's going to continue to fight. Maybe she will, bring it back if she's run it back again if she's able to. But it doesn't sound like there's going to be an easy fix. Like you said, Ben, people need to plan for this next tax filing season. Probably is going to be the same. In fact, there was one comment by Lily Poker on X that said she doesn't think that they will notice casinos, that is, for another 1.5 years after players get taxed this upcoming season. That might get their attention. So
right. So yeah, just like anything in the government and this world, we realize that it's wrong and something's bad in about a week, and it takes 4 years to make any changes. So
let's take this. Let's obviously hope for the best, which this gets overturned, things go back to the status quo, but prepare for the worst. And, Mike, what's your thoughts? Like, if this doesn't get overturned and this does stay in effect moving forward for, say, the next 4 years at least, what do you think that means for poker as a whole?
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's really a problem. It's like it's really a problem. I'm not even sure honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just, like I was saying before, you're going to have to, unless you're find some incredible game or some incredible, or you're one of the top 0.1% of earners sort of in that professional player pool, you're going to have to find other ways of income or something else if you want to make, especially if you're at the lower to mid stakes, trying to make it, trying to come up in tournaments, especially.
Sure.
It just makes it so much harder for tournaments to be a way of living. And I think like a lot of the people who are already in it, who are already doing this, like they're going to survive and they're going to be okay. Maybe like the bottom 10 or 20%, like this really affects them, but it just makes it like you want the poker dream to be alive, right? You want people to be watching this show, people to be playing, doing all these things. And like we were 20 years ago saying like, oh man, that's something I can do for a living. That's something that I can like, if I commit all of my time to, it's sort of like one of these amazing, beautiful things where it's a game where I can make my own schedule and pay for my own stuff. And if I really prove that I'm one of the best, like I can make a living doing it. And you just don't want to do anything that makes that harder. It makes it for some person who's watching right now, who plays 1-2, who's super serious about the game, who wants to like be the next Alex Foxen. Well, if there's no path for that, because like you just can't earn enough, or like you're punished by earning too much kind of thing, then that just kind of ruins that dream and that path. And that's the last thing that we want to do in an industry where we are already struggling to find, ways to bring more people in, and especially at the highest levels. So.
And you can't carry losses from one year to the next.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Like,
people also probably don't
should
realize.
go in the other direction, not this direction.
Right. It's like a lot of times as a business, if you say you lose $100,000 one year and then make $100,000 next year, well, you can carry over those losses and sort of, you're not net tax. But for us, it's a calendar year as a calendar year. If I make $50 one year and lose $100,000 the next, I'm still taxed on that $50. Like I don't get to carry over that 100,000. So we're already screwed by time periods. And now we're just like, I don't know, man. They're just making it harder and harder. They just don't want us to be out here gambling.
Dirty gamblers.
This is
We're such
obviously,
bad people, obviously.
This is applicable to the U.S. It is the big, beautiful bill in the United States. One thing I think you will see happen, and we're kind of seeing it already, is a flourishing of poker outside of the United States, right?
Yeah.
So, for instance, and this will lead us into the next story right now, the Triton Super High Roller Series in Jeju. We talked about it a couple episodes ago when Ossi Ketola won Monarch, was playing some very high stakes heads-up matches, ended up dropping $15 million to Dan Jungleman Cates, also lost one to Kyan Mockery. Well, he was back at it on another pair of matches, the first against Victor Malinowski, who's known as Limitless, a big online player. He's been around for a very long time. He ended up winning two matches, $3 million apiece against Monarch, and then Alex Foxen played two matches, I believe, against him, and ended up winning $3 million of his own. He won. If I ever thinks,
they played one for $2 million. Foxen lost, and they played for $5 million, and Foxen won.
There you go.
So
yeah, that makes sense. And then the casino was going to close, so they couldn't play anymore.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's right. They were. I watched the end of that. They're like, we gotta be back for this $150K in 3 hours. But as soon as they finished that match, they were like, yeah, so play again after the 150? Sure, yeah. Also, I know, we have mixed feelings about Monarch, and, I'm on there too. But it was so funny because when he first was introduced to the poker world, he was this swaggy character wearing crazy Russian hats and sunglasses, and he was exciting and kind of fun. It's a new person here. After these heads-up matches where he's just getting destroyed, he looks broken. He shaved his head. He's not wearing sunglasses. He's very dressed up in a cardigan kind of thing. He looks so stressed out. I think these heads-up matches are killing him.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, man.
Yeah. Well, someone asked him too. It's we don't know what your net worth is like. So is losing 15 or 20 million? He's like, well, it is not good,
Yeah.
It hurts for sure.
I do think we're going to see more. As we mentioned, he did want to continue, and even Limitless. Victor Malinowski said, he said, "Good luck, Monarch. After you clean Foxen, I'm ready to give you a rematch. Who knows if Foxen wants to get back in there, and others. There could be
Foxen was like, yeah. If he would have gone again if they had let them, I think.
Yeah, translation to that is I'm trying to play more against you, brother. You know,
Yeah,
Limitless wants that cash.
This is like the modern day.
Die la liberté.
No, I was going to say the modern day Andy Beal situation where it's like you got this guy who's got all this money. I mean, and who knows if he's, I don't know. I didn't watch all the heads up, and I'm no expert on heads up. But
didn't you smash 4 guys in heads up in 2 hours one time?
Yeah, I mean, that was a joke on not being an expert. I am an expert.
He's so good.
But who knows if this guy is any good or if he's just getting like auto smashed by all these dudes.
I think he's getting auto smashed by all the dudes.
Yeah. So
it seems like an auto smashing.
I feel like it's probably one of these things where I'm sure there's like a group of 10 people who are like, yeah, let's just whoever can play. We'll all put our money together. Let's take this guy down. So
there was one big hand.
Yeah, right.
There is one big hand from the stream that I do want to share here, courtesy of Triton Poker, in which both players end up with trips. We'll talk about it after. Check it out.
Jack on the turn. Doogie suits, so no flush draws out there.
I think room for another barrel.
And a 4 is strong here. 4 pairs, right? 5x, 6x to charge.
Yeah, and the Jack also one of the better turns. Don't think we see Monarch check calling flop very often with Jack high.
Right, so hands like
he'd need to have like Queen Jack or King Jack realistically to have hit this turn. Otherwise, likely ace high, low pairs.
Yeah, you can see Foxen betting very healthy. Ketola, I don't really see how he can fold at this point with the 4 queen kicker.
Yeah, it's pretty strong as well. We definitely beat some value. Obviously beating the bluffs as well.
It's a $1.2 million pot now. Both players with the 4, and that river card is brutal for Ossi Ketola. He's made trip 4s with the queen kicker. But his trip 4s and the ace kicker for Alex Foxen.
Oh, this is gross, Randy. There were so few rivers where this was going to become a big pot. I don't see how Ossi gets away from this.
Oh, he's thinking about leading, and I wouldn't blame him. He is going to lead.
Oh, boy.
And this is just going to inflate the pot even more.
400K lead.
1/3 pot.
Foxen's still going to believe that ace-4 is the best hand by a decent margin. I mean,
how much do you raise to right now?
2.5 million behind. Is there some concern that we're up against a straight from time to time? Full house is very hard to make on this board. And we have an ace to remove ace-5.
I feel like you can't be worried about the straight right now.
If we're not worried about a straight, then ask for all of it, right?
You think a 4 is never going to fold, especially with a good kicker.
It's really hard to fold a 4 on this board.
He is going to jam all in. And what do you do now? Ketola's got $2.5 million back. If he calls and he's wrong, this match is over. But if he can fold, he can hang in there with 50 big blinds.
This is sick from Monarch's point of view. There's an outside chance that Foxen does this with a weaker 4, but every hand above ours significantly more likely, right? Ace-5, 5-6, all very plausible. The full houses like pocket deuces and 3s, pocket jacks, all very plausible.
Can Ossi Ketola find the fold with trip 4's queen kicker? Wow. Oh my God. He lives to fight another day. Well played, Ossi Ketola.
All right, so there you have it, a $7.55 million pot. Very tough spot, it seems, for Monarch, but does find the fold. Ben, you just asked, like, is he any good at poker? I'd say making that fold there suggests that, yeah, he's got some chops.
Yeah. The block fold on the river there, that's legit. It's hard to fold trips heads up, especially to Foxen, who just knows. Yeah, it's a good fold.
Yeah,
good fold. That's why you block. It's hard to. You can't just check fold river there, probably, but you can definitely bet fold, I guess. So good for you, Monarch. The one thing you're anyway. No comment.
The Triton Jeju Super High Roller Series is going to continue, and their streams are top notch. Definitely check them out, and we will keep an eye on any future matches that may take place, including one that might involve one Phil Hellmuth. And I believe Monarch actually tried to answer this challenge. Phil Hellmuth offering Crossbook $500,000 a piece, going dollar for dollar in these live streamed, filmed cash games, and. Yeah, he's claiming he does pretty well. I don't know. What do you guys think? Does Hellmuth have what it takes to crossbook with somebody in cash games?
Yeah, I mean, look, first of all, we're talking about the streamed cash games and stuff. A few things. First of all, Phil plays very selectively in cash games. You're not going to see him on high stakes poker in the Jungle Man, Robo lineup kind of thing, I don't think. He plays against, a lot of recreational players and does well. I know that's not what we're talking about for this crossbook, so he's used to that. But third, you have to understand the economy of cash games is very much like give action, get invites. It's about the long term. Hellmuth shows up, he short buys a lot of the time, and then just sort of plays super tight like he's in a tournament and finds a way to win. There's nothing wrong with that. You can go to any casino and play that way. But of course, you're going to have good results if you play that way. If you're not playing for the long term of I want to be invited back to this game, guys who are playing these huge cash games, the Berkeys, the Rampages, the Robles of the world, they're not trying to play 100% optimally at all times. They're trying to give action. They're trying to make sure that they're earning enough in the game. They're doing enough in the game, but also making it fun, making it so that they are good action in the game, even if they're a long-term winner. I don't know if Hellmuth has it in him to do that, to not play optimally or to not be full Hellmuth. And again, nothing wrong with that. That's why he's won, freaking 30 bracelets or whatever, is because he's so locked in and he plays his A game all the time for him. But it's sort of we're comparing apples to oranges. It's yeah, of course, probably his ROI is better than, I don't know, maybe Berkey's, and sort of obviously Berkey's got a million more sample size, but he's not playing optimally. He knows that this is his ticket. This isn't Hellmuth's ticket. This isn't something where he needs to maintain an image in the game or get an invite back. He'll be playing with his boys or playing tournaments forever. So it's sort of a weird thing. I don't know.
There is some data. So this all stemmed from cash game player and Hungry Horse poker founder Mark Goon, who is also a commentator, I think, on Hustler Casino Live.
Gooner.
Basically crunching some numbers and saying that Hellmuth isn't very good at cash games, and then hence Hellmuth's response to that. But he did show some numbers based on highrollpoker.com, which has some data involving live stream cash games. And it says, dating back to 2006, over nearly 600 hours of Hellmuth playing in live stream cash games, he has lost more than $825,000, averaging a loss of $1,402 an hour and minus 3.71 big blinds per hour.
Not great, Bob.
I wouldn't have thought that, but not great, Bob.
Yeah, that's surprising. So, I mean, given his strategy and given the fact that he tries to set himself up for the best possible outcome in these cash games, that's not great.
Not ideal.
I mean, I remember the one where, and again, and this isn't me just shitting on Hellmuth, but I remember the one streamer game where it was Mr. Beast and Ninja and Botez and a lot of these people at Hustler. Yeah. And everyone was having fun and buying in for $500,000, and Hellmuth bought in for 20 bigs and just sort of sat there and lost and then just left. And so, I mean, again, how are we comparing that to normal cash game? I want to see what happens if he sits down and matches the stack and plays for weeks against the same people. That's more interesting than just he shows up and... So again, I don't even know if those numbers that they're talking about, how much he's lost, really even matter or are accurate or anything. But I also doesn't surprise me either.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah, there's a poll on PokerNews that asked, do you think Phil Hellmuth's approach works in high-stakes cash games? Only 2% said yes, his style holds up.
Jesus. I would have
6%
expected more than
Wow,
that.
that's pretty sick.
Just for the
actually.
lulz, yeah.
for the lulz.
Well, 51% said no, modern poker players exploit it too easily. 40% says works in tournaments, not in cash games, and 6% were undecided. So, but the challenge is out there. Hellmuth publicly stated it, so I hope that he does book something with someone. I will say that I've been recapping episodes of Hellmuth's Home Game, which is a live stream cash game put on by Bet Rivers and Poker Night in America. It's just $25.50. There's usually a $100 straddle on there, but Hellmuth in season 1 thus far is up like $110,000, and his strategy there seems to be working. Now, that said, he is playing against more recreational crowd, if you will. Jungle Man is in there, of course, but other than that, there's some softer spots, if you will. In fact, it was just earlier
His
today.
son.
He tweeted that, his one son, Philip Hellmuth III, is playing already. But if you saw this morning, he tweeted that his other son, his youngest son, Nick, is going to take up poker and is up for season 2, apparently.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, and this is great. I think if this means that there's more Phil Hellmuth on streamed games and on TV, that's good for poker for sure. So,
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Yeah. So more
All
Phil,
right, well,
good.
We'll have to wait and see if somebody accepts that challenge and if Hellmuth books it. In the meantime, you can check out recaps of Hellmuth's Home Game on PokerNews.com. I want to transition now to a segment where we will reveal the winner of our World Tournament of Slots giveaway, someone who will be joining myself and Michael the Grinder Mizrachi down in the Bahamas at the Atlantis on Paradise Island in October. Check it out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am here with the winner of Poker News' World Tournament of Slots giveaway. This was something fun that we did on the website and on the Poker News podcast. Jim Schmatzer. Jim, thank you for taking the time to chat with us, and congratulations on winning our giveaway.
Well, thank you. Happy to have won, and I'm happy to be here, and I'm excited to go to the Bahamas.
Have you ever been before? Let's ask that. Let's start there.
I went once, and it was actually to Atlantis. So I kind of know what I'm getting into, but a lot has changed since I went there last time. So excited to see what's different, and have some conch and all that good stuff.
I'm gonna see you there because I'm going myself, and I've been many times. So I'll be happy to show you around, show you some of the fun things. I'm sure we'll do some fun Poker News things. But are you excited for the slot aspect of this thing? Because you're gonna have like a 1 in 500 shot at $1 million.
That's intense. Yeah, this is probably as the best odds as I've had to get $1 million at once. Slots have always been fun for me. It's like I don't just like the regular ones. I like the ones with the extra added bits and pieces to them. So, there's just a lot going on with these kind of slots, and it's just, it's very entertaining.
Yeah, we're gonna get into a little bit more of that here in a minute. But can you tell me a little bit about yourself? I don't know too much. I know you're from Akron, Ohio. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, like technically Fairlawn, but Akron is probably what most people would recognize as the area. I just been here for a little while. I mostly lived up in Lakewood next to Cleveland for the past few years, and then before that I was in Cincinnati. Cincinnati is actually where I met my wife, who's also in the tournament, so now we're going to be competing against each other, which it's always extra level of fun there.
Really? How did she get in? Did she play her way
Top
in?
Slots game?
Mm-hmm.
So she just played it enough times that she actually won through that. And it's just like, oh, cool.
Yeah, that is awesome. So you guys will get to go together. So she already won her way there. I know you were gonna get a +1 to take with you. Like, is it still gonna be just the two of you, or are you gonna bring anybody else?
So I think the plan is now, after discussing it, my guest is going to be my brother-in-law, so her brother, and then her guest is now going to be his wife. So we're gonna basically take the two of them with us and go hopping around the Bahamas for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad place to be. You're obviously going to be there playing some slots, but outside of it, you got the water park, you got the beach. It's like one of the few places I never say no to go to, right? Like, especially in October. Part of the giveaway, well, how did you even hear about the giveaway in the first place?
Honestly, from my wife. She's like, "Oh, I won this neat thing. You should check this out." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I looked into things and I was playing on her app. And I was, just trying to check things out and just kind of scrolling through Facebook. I'm like, "Oh, World Tournament of Poker. Cool. These guys know what they're talking about." So I kind of, you know, but I think that particular post was like, download the Konami app and try that for a little while. So I was like, okay, I'll try, give this a shot. And I like that one. It's like Lucky Ball Honeycomb Twin Fever. It has some crazy long name to it, but there's so much going on with it. But it was fun, and then now I get to meet you guys and go on this big trip. And
part of it was, as you said, you had to share, you had to download, and then you had to share on a social media post. You did Facebook, and I actually have it here. Your comment: your favorite machine has to be Treasure Ball Lucky Honeycomb Twin Fever, which is a mouthful.
Yeah.
I'm not too familiar with it. I'm not much of a slots guy. I am really looking forward to being down there and just taking in this whole atmosphere. Have you played in any slot tournaments? Like, I haven't, and I don't really know what to expect, but have you ever played in any slot tournaments?
Not like in real life. There's been through like the apps and things like that. So like Pop Slots had one for a little while, and it was just like a simulated version of what I think we'll be doing in real life. So you have like all these slot machines lined up, and then you have a group of people all playing at the same time. And from what I understand, it's whoever wins in that grouping that kind of goes on to the next grouping. So it's like almost like brackets, but not quite. So that's how I think it's gonna go, but I've never actually been to a physical one before, so that's just a best guess.
Well, I know one of the physical aspects of it is you got to like hit the button as fast as you possibly can. Are you left-handed, right-handed, and are you ready to hit that button?
So I've been preparing by playing Mario Party a lot with my wife, and a lot of those are just spamming as much as you can, and so sort of warming up that way. I'm right-handed, but I've been trying to get good because I think there's an aspect where you're supposed to pop stuff on the touchscreen as well. So I've been trying to like get a little ambidextrous action going.
I love it. I'm gonna be there, like front row seat with PokerNews. We're gonna be doing social media articles, kind of talking to you more as well. So this was just let's get to know him a little bit. He is our winner for the giveaway. I know a lot of people who've been watching the podcast have been anxious to learn just who won. And Jim, it's you. I'm excited to say, and it sounds like this is a great story, with your wife that's going to go there, family. I don't know. I get excited about the giveaways that we get to do with PokerNews, and I love it when they go to someone who seems like it's going to have a lot of fun. And I'm really hoping, my fingers are crossed for you or your wife to, win that $1 million.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we appreciate all the support, and thank you for doing the whole giveaway and just giving the opportunity for somebody like me to go. So I'm excited.
All right. Well, you can thank My VIP, who are the sponsors of the World Tournament of Slots, which is going to take place in the Bahamas this October. The 22nd through the 26th at the Atlantis Paradise Island. It's going to be a lot of fun. There could be $1 million waiting for you, Jim, and I will see you there.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm excited.
All right, we are back. I will be doing an episode of the PokerNews podcast from the Bahamas for the World Tournament of Slots. Definitely looking forward to that. And then those of you who are listening and watching, last week we debuted a new giveaway for a NAPT Gold Pass valued at $10,000. We're doing code words, if you remember. And we revealed the first code word last week was disco. And then, Mike, you took a guess as to the second code word. What was it?
Chad.
It is Chad, indeed. Chad is the this week's code word for what will end up being, I think I said it was 11 code words. It's actually 10. My mistake on that. I apologize, but it will be 10 code words that will spell out a phrase, and these code words will be dropped one per episode between now and I think the last one will be towards the end of October. October 23rd will be the final episode. And then there's also some code words that will be on the MSPT podcast presented by PokerNews, which I host with Kinda England. So if you listen to both, you will come up with a code phrase and be entered to win a $10,000 NAPT Gold Pass. Terms and conditions apply. I will link to it in the show notes. You can check out all of the details there. And be sure to tune in next week for the next code word.
If you see me on the street and pay me $8, I'll give you all the code words.
Yeah, same.
I can say confidently, Mike and Ben do not know the code phrase, so don't let them bribe you into.
Hell,
I
think it starts with Disco Chad has a real thick. Wait, what?
This of course is for the NAPT Las Vegas at Resorts World, which is coming up November 3rd through the 12th. They have buy-ins ranging from $330 up to $50K, headlined by the $5,300 NAPT main event. That's what this Gold Pass is for. It will get you into that main event, plus airfare, travel, and some other perks. But there are also silver passes to be given away. Silver passes work a little bit differently. They are still going to get you to the NAPT, but not into the main event, into some other side events, but also will provide for the airfare, the hotel, and some exclusive events. And there are many different ways you can win your way in via Gold Passes, including playing online and any of the PokerStars jurisdictions. I know there's going to be various giveaways from influencers, streamers, things like that. So keep your eye open for all the opportunities for silver passes. And each week between now and us selecting a winner for our Gold Pass, we will be highlighting some of these winners and also the ways in which you can win. So keep an eye out for those.
Are you ready for the poker experience of a lifetime? Head to PokerStars and take one of the many opportunities to win a silver pass. That gets you an exclusive package to NAPT 2025. See you in Las Vegas, my babies.
All right, let us go to our next segment, and that is recent tournament winners. This week presented by 888 Poker, and the reason being is there are some 888 Poker events that have been taking place, including the live London main event, $888 buy-in, like how that works, not dollar, British pounds, and ended up being won by Wang. Mike, nothing?
I got nothing, man. That's Wang speaks for itself.
I'm part of the Wang gang, the Wang gang.
Yeah.
Gang.
Yeah.
No, good for Gang Wang.
I just knew when that name was coming up. Mike is gonna,
he's got nothing
His
to
name is
say.
Gang Wang. That's fucking the craziest shit I've ever heard in my life. What do you mean?
What a legend.
Gang Wang.
Yeah, man.
That's so sick, dude.
I know.
My mom.
We'll never be as cool as Gang Wang.
No, I'm pissed. My mom's all like, "Yeah, we'll go with Michael." Oh.
I know. What about Gang?
Yeah.
Anyway.
He took it down for 86,600 British pounds and said in his winner interview, "Because I win this trophy, my wife will allow me to play poker all the time."
Yes. I mean, that's a win.
Yeah.
Right?
Gang
Wang, more money, more poker. Good for him.
Also at the stop, there was a special event that took place. It was the 888 Poker Ambassador Sit and Go. You guys might not be familiar with the 888 Poker Ambassadors because they're not in the U.S. market. They operate elsewhere. But some of them on there is Ian Simpson, Nick Eastwood, who I've had as a guest on this Poker News podcast, Vivian Saliba, Lucia Navarro, Aaron Barone, and Jack Dean. They ended up playing a sit and go, fast-paced, in which Aaron Barone, who is out of Canada, I've actually done some commentary with him in the past, really nice guy, ended up taking it down for some pride, some bragging rights, and I just wanted to give him a shout out there. And then speaking of Vivian Saliba, she was on fire at the 888 Live London, bunch of different cashes, and actually took down the 550 Big Shot tournament in person for over 12K. Vivian Saliba, I don't know, one of my favorite Brazilian superstar, knows PLO very well, has won a bracelet, always seems to be crushing. Are you too familiar with her?
Yeah. I've played a bunch of PLO tournaments with her. She's extremely strong in PLO, and that transfers over to No Limit sometimes. So good for her. But no, I mean, she's been like one of the better PLO tournament players for a long time. I mean, I think she was cashing the high stakes ones like 7-8 years ago. So I feel like she's been a rock star for a while in that setting. So
that's how I was introduced to her. It was just like her results in PLO tournaments and everything. Saw it on Instagram. Was like, oh shit, this girl's crushing.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, because as I mentioned, she's Brazilian, and it just got me thinking. And we talked about the state of poker at the beginning of the episode. We're getting down here towards the end, and I'm just curious, like, where do things stand nowadays from a grinder's perspective, whether it be online or live there in Vegas, in terms of, like, I remember a time when it was Brazilian players are the toughest and they're the best. Then there were the German wizards, and so on and so forth. Is there any particular nationality right now that's tougher than others or crushing in poker?
Yes, China. I mean,
Yeah.
and in terms of like online, it's hard to see these days really where people are from, who you're playing against, etc. Like that's the difference. Is back in the day on the Full Tilt Poker Stars days, you were playing against the whole world. You had a flag. You knew where people were from. Today it's a little difficult, but I mean, just in terms of think about what we've seen from just live results. I mean, if we're, kind of like using those as an indicator, so many Chinese nationals who are coming over just absolutely crushing. I mean, we see it at the World Series. We're seeing it in London, boy Gang Wang, shout out. But like that, I just think, given the fact that they've been able to play online and that's one of the biggest pools of people in the world. There's a lot of Chinese people. I mean, every Chinese player I played against this summer is extremely strong. And I mean, they've had tons of results. So I just expect that contingent. And I mean, I know this isn't exactly your question in terms of, you see a Brazilian flag online, they're going to play extremely aggressive. That they're not going to like let you get away with any spots. But I mean, every like Chinese player I've played against in serious events has just been absolutely killing it, fearless, like knows what they're doing. So that's the flag I see, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to get owned.
Oh, interesting. I actually think America has like maybe the best elite of the elite. But where's Leon Strum from?
Germany.
Might just be Germany then.
Yeah, I mean, guys like that for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
I know.
God.
Oh, I was going to say another one I know that's been talked about is Japan, right? With Shiina Akamoto, we talked about recently, and then I know Negrani's pointed that out as well. So I don't know. I was just curious. I know there's no one answer, but it does just seem like there's always, a hot nationality every year, so to speak.
Japan is interesting because they can't technically play legally online either. So again, it's sort of give them more opportunities to play, and we'll see a ton more Japanese pros or people crushing it. But like a lot of them are really good at mixed games too, because they're so into the game that they just play at clubs for sort of play money, play all the games, but they're just like so obsessed with the game that they just want to be in there. So give them an opportunity to play for more money in Japan, and we'll see 5x the amount.
I actually got an offer, the folks over at the Japan Open Poker Tour, JOPT, which I think Shiina Akamoto represents, earlier this month, slipped into the DMs with an invitation for me to come over and check out one of their events.
All right, we'll go.
Jeez. I don't know. Like, I definitely want to. Don't get me wrong. Like, Japan is very high on my list of places I'd love to go. So I'm going to try to make it work. It might be next year before that happens, but I definitely would like to get over there just to not only experience one of their events, but just to experience the poker playing culture in what I think is one of the more interesting markets in the world. And like you said, Ben, like it's not really open right now. Yes, they're finding ways to play, but man, if they ever got it greenlit as a whole, that would be probably the hottest market in poker.
Oh yeah. Tana Karn and Joe Stapleton went over they did like a run good. It was a partnership with, I don't think it was the JOPT, but something like that, where they did a run good event over there, and they said it was amazing. I was sad I couldn't go, but
it's pretty sick.
We'll see more and more, hopefully. Yeah. And yes, we'll go to Japan.
Yeah, Chad will do it.
Stop yelling at us.
My God,
we'll go, dude.
Holy shit, dude.
The Poker News podcast from Tokyo. I like the sound of it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, you said, as you were discussed, Mike and I are having trouble being grinders in the U.S., so we're gonna go.
Well, not
Tokyo
only that,
boys.
We can finally wear our matching kimonos for an occasion.
Why did we need an excuse to wear them?
We didn't.
We could wear them next podcast.
Okay. I'll see you on Tuesday.
Matching kimonos.
Before we end this episode, I do want to harken back to 888 Poker real quick, because they are getting ready to launch their 888 Poker XL Autumn Series from September 21st through the 29th. Features 52 numbered events, including a massive $250 buy-in, $500K guaranteed rakeless mystery bounty main event.
Love that.
Okay.
I keep saying it, like, 888 Poker isn't the biggest, but they certainly do some of the stuff that is the best. And I actually think their mystery bounties are among the best in online poker. Unfortunately, we can't play in the US, but if you are in a jurisdiction that you can, definitely check it out and check out the XL Autumn series.
When Mike and I are in Japan, we'll be grinding that every day.
Well, that's going to do it for this episode, gentlemen. But the next week, I will be there in person. And Ben, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be our first opportunity to do a show together in person.
Can't wait. First time Chad and I have met in person.
Yeah.
That was a bluff. I'm a poker player.
Oh my God, he's so fucking good at poker, dude. Oh my God.
He's right behind me is my bracelet photo, and Ben is one of the people. Where am I going?
Yeah. No, yep.
Right there.
Just to the left. Yeah, there I am.
There he is.
Yeah.
I have a photo of Ben too, but it's a party that we attended together.
It's a little less tasteful than that photo, and it's much bigger and hanging in Mike's living room.
I'll tell you this much: it looks like you were tasting something in that photo, but hey, you know what I mean. It could be anything.
PokerNews podcast, folks.
Holy Christ!
And that's going to do it for this episode of the PokerNews podcast. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, give us that 5-star review. Remember, we have a new episode every Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific time. Yeah, boys, I'm probably going to get an email about that one from the boss. But yeah, Mike set me up.
You know,
there
what
we
can
go.
you do?
Blame Mike.
It won't be the first email you've gotten about so.